Hello, you're listening to WKNC 88.1 HD1 Raleigh. This is an episode of the Stripdown with DJ Ocean Spray, and today I'm here with the UNC-based band Braless. So can you guys introduce yourselves with your name, role in band, major, and where you're from?
Hi, everyone. I'm Dee, but my actual name is Deanna Garst, and I grew up in Connecticut. I studied the saxophone. I'm a music major who primarily focuses on jazz in school, and I also play saxophone in Braless and sing sometimes. Yeah, that makes sense.
Sweet. My name is Chloe Winchester. I'm from Charlotte area, specifically Huntersville. And in school, I'm studying music and French. And in Braless, I play mainly electric guitar and sometimes bass a little bit.
Nice. I'm Will Poteet. I was born in Augusta, Georgia, and I come from Asheville, North Carolina. I study religion at UNC, and I play bass and sometimes guitar and sometimes sing with Braless.
Heck yeah. Okay, hi, I'm Izzy Steinke. I'm also from Asheville, North Carolina, though I was born not in Augusta. I was born in Asheville. Okay. And I'm studying environmental science with a minor in geography, and I play the drums. I've dabbled in other things, but I think I've settled down here.
Yes.
And my name's Sarah Lorenzi. I'm lead vocals for Braless. My double major in physics and Spanish literatures and cultures, and I am hailing from Charlotte. And I'm also representing, who is not here, another guitarist of ours, Samuel J. Ellington. He hails from Gastonia, North Carolina, and he is a little nerdy math major.
Yeah.
We miss him.
We love him.
So can you guys tell me a little bit about how the band formed?
Oh, boy.
Our favorite question, I
I
would
got
say.
it.
Yeah. So picture this, UNC dining hall, where all great ideas are born. Me and Chloe are getting lunch. You know, it's a nice little lunch, a little gray, but lunch nonetheless. And I'm like, man, I really don't have any way to do music or any way to participate in the performing like I used to love. And Chloe was like, dude, what'd you say? What'd you say, Chloe?
I don't know. I was like, maybe we should do something about that.
Mhm.
Maybe we should make a band.
Yeah.
And Dee and I lived in our little dorm together freshman year.
Craig, shout out.
Yeah, gotta love Craig, Krusty Craig.
Yeah.
But Dee played saxophone all the time, and I was like, we should make a band. I play guitar, Dee plays sax. Sarah's an amazing vocalist. Let's just see what we can do.
Cut to the Craig courtyard just a few weeks later. I'm meeting all the biddies in the suite. We're getting all together. And we just start jamming in the courtyard, seeing what we want to play, seeing what we want to do. What did we do? What were some of the first songs we did?
Oh my God.
Was it Hotel California?
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
It was.
And we slowly had people coming up from the grass outside of their
Yeah.
dorm, some people yelling at us to be quiet.
Yeah. I feel like it was a Frank Ocean song or two in there. I just can't remember.
Dream
for
a Little
sure. Maybe
Dream
Self-Control,
also.
because that was a song I played a lot in high school.
Yes.
When I used to practice, and Sarah loves Frank Ocean.
All right,
yeah.
yeah, I do.
Oh.
I do.
I mean, we
Frank
all do,
Ocean.
but you
Oh
know.
At one time. And and that was our first rehearsal. It was just a couple of us. Yeah. And being a student band, we have had many people come and go. And so now we look a lot different, but that's where we started. That's our roots, is playing for the people outside.
Right.
Outside.
Playing whether or not the people wanted it.
Yes.
Doing it for ourselves.
There were lots of people mad that we were making noise.
Yeah.
It was like
We
the
did
middle of a day
apologize,
on a
yeah.
Monday or something. I don't even remember, but
Yeah.
That's lame.
okay.
And so how long have you guys been a band?
This would have been 2 years ago. Our first
Yeah.
show ever was 2 Januaries ago, so we just passed our 2-year anniversary.
Yay!
Congratulations! What
And how did you guys land on the name Braless?
Oh yeah,
Another
we got this.
story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
Okay,
many
so-
stories today.
This one was me and Dee were walking in opposite directions from
Classic D and Chloe.
Yeah.
moment.
And we're like, oh my gosh, we met up and we were like talking about we need a name for this band. It's getting up, it's getting a little bit faster. We need to figure out a band name. So we're just brainstorming, and I think we saw a sticker on the pole outside of the SRC,
Yeah.
and it inspired something. And we were just throwing out nouns, and I was like, Braless.
Yeah.
What was
and
the
we
picture
both,
of?
We both happened to be braless that day too.
Mm.
And we were like, yes, we look so good. We're slaying right now.
Yeah.
Who needs bras? Who needs
Right.
them?
I
I mean, sometimes they're practical, but I was like, whatever. And then we were like, Braless, the name, I think.
Did a little eyebrow raise.
Yeah.
And we were like, that could
Braless?
That could be good.
And then we
name.
texted the original Braless group chat, and we were like, hey, how do y'all feel about Braless? And everyone was like, yeah, that sounds cool. At least for now, it'll be a placeholder. And then we thought about how good the branding was and about how good, like, you can get so much attention from that name. Like, when you hear the name Braless, it provokes questioning and, like, sometimes confusion. Sometimes
I was about to say,
people
many
are like,
confused.
Braless, like, and then, like, I have to spell it out. I'm like, bra-less. Like, no bra. Like, sometimes you even spell, like, the actual, like, B-R-A. Like, people, for some reason, especially I've had this experience with men, where they just can't wrap their head around the
No,
fact
when they
that it's
see it
Braless.
written first, they're like, barless?
Yeah.
What
No,
does
we
that
got
mean?
bars.
Yeah,
We got
yeah. What does that
bars.
Yeah.
mean? And I'm like, come on, you guys. I feel like it's not that hard. I don't know. That's a word that you say
Yeah.
normally.
So just to clarify for the audience, the
Mhm.
SRC, the Student Recreation Center, the name came up into fruition outside of the student gym?
Yes.
We were getting
Sticker.
swole.
There was a sticker and it said something like crude on it,
Yeah.
and I don't know. It just
We just-
inspired something,
yeah.
I guess.
Little
I don't
spark.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The gym is so inspiring for us.
Big Braless motto.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
And so, what is your like personal journeys with music? Like, have you been playing music for a long time or listening to music for a while?
Definitely. I would say I started, like, obviously we all listened to music in the car as a kid, and I feel like all of us are very musical people, have always had that sort of special connection to where it was something that we knew we wanted to do. I personally, I did a lot of singing in choir when I was in middle and high school, and went to Carolina for music, and it just kind of, it was the natural creative outlet. It was I wasn't there for the start of the band, but when I got the opportunity, it was like, yeah, no way I'm passing this up.
Yeah, it was so awesome.
Well, because we were talking a lot in the beginning, kind of like I said before, we were like, there are no music spaces that you can like really be a part of in college that aren't like 9 to 5 rehearsal every day, Monday through Friday.
Yep.
Mhm.
And, being a busy student, being a full-time student, it's really hard to commit to something like that. And so to be able to create a space where people can come and play music for the love of it rather than for whatever else people play music for. I don't know,
Yeah,
money,
like practicing and
fame,
sounding
pretentious
really good.
reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I was a theater kid in high school, so
Sure.
had
Yeah.
to. I don't know if I want to admit that on air, but
Yeah,
you
really,
know,
go for
I
it.
am.
Represent.
I am.
Represent. Be proud.
And yeah, I had always loved it, but I was always typecast into roles that I didn't want to play, and
Yeah.
so
Like what?
like what? I don't really want to say.
Okay.
Let's
Sure.
just say some of us
Confidential.
were understudies for Snoopy. I won't say who.
Revealing secrets right now.
Yeah, you know what? I'm giving this to the NC State campus, okay?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I
But
think- sorry.
no, go for it, Chloe.
I was gonna say, I think the cool thing about Braless is that everybody in Braless has their own like musical journeys outside of the band,
Yeah.
and it's an outlet where we all come together and enjoy music together. But like personally, I'm a music major and I'm studying to do classical conducting, which is very different from what Braless does. We do not play classical music. If you've ever heard us play,
Not yet.
Not yet.
One day.
Maybe one day.
yeah, maybe. But I think that fact that we all have our own like different musical educations in some way and musical history really contributes to how interesting our sound is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think continuing to answer your question, we've kind of been doing it zigzagged, but that's the way it is, I personally started playing saxophone in 5th grade. The stand-up bass was my first choice in 4th grade, but shout out to my parents. They didn't want me to play it. Love you guys, Patty and
They said, we
Ray.
see something else
Yeah.
for you.
It was big and it was very expensive. And they didn't want me to have to carry that on the bus every day. So they really were looking out for me.
That was so real of them.
Yeah,
for real.
yeah, but
that
I-
sounds heavy enough, man.
Yeah, they didn't know how committed I would be. And then they saw me with the saxophone, and every single day I brought it home from school. There was not a single day that I didn't bring that home and have it in my hands right when I got out of school, like during lunch, like everything. It was just an obsession immediately for me. And so I've been playing my entire life since 5th grade. And I came to college for music. That's the only reason why I wanted to come to college, just to like practice the craft and get better at it. My high school band program, like she was amazing, but coming to college, I'm working with, shout out, Rashawn Barber and Heidi Radke. They are the most incredible mentors in the entire world, and they just have brought my playing to an entire new level. I had to shout them out. I love them
Yeah.
so
No,
much.
you
They
should
mean the
shout
world
them
to
out.
me,
They are
so-
great. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, that's my experience personally.
And I feel like for me, was kind of honestly the opposite. I played a lot of stuff. I did classical piano starting at the age of 5. I did jazz saxophone in middle and high school, and I did classical bassoon, and
Wow.
I did some drumline stuff too, which has got me started on percussion. And our band program at my high school was, I would say, very advanced, and it was very competitive, and our band director was very tough on us. You know how it goes. I feel like if there are any band kids listening, you probably understand.
Shout out.
And so he kind of beat it into my head that UNC was not of the caliber of a music school that I should go to, which is, I think, kind of a donkey donk, but whatever.
Changed a lot
It
as of
has
the last
changed.
2 years.
Yeah,
I
so
must say. So he maybe
he was right for the time, but not
knows,
anymore,
yeah.
But so that means that when I got here, I really didn't continue my music education pretty much at all, and it left a sizable, if not, really huge hole in my psyche and my being. And so Braless was a really good chance for me to kind of step into that creation zone again, because it was something that was really missing from my life. So really grateful to be here. Yeah.
And so you guys are really loved by the UNC community. What has that experience been like with all that support?
Weird. It's been
We love
crazy,
you
actually.
guys. Yeah.
Let me say, me and Will were driving just on the street one day, windows down in the car, talking at a volume that we would now, and we were like, blah, 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 Braless. Somebody walks across the street and goes, Braless? Braless, I love Braless. Watch the next show, you guys. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
I have no idea who you are.
From celebrity.
Yeah,
Yeah,
micro. Yeah. No, the support has been. There's just something about the community that we attracted right from the start.
Yeah.
And I think that was what has determined our success so far. That and like just the friendship that we have and our passion for music individually and as a band. But like the first crowd that we drew at that Justice Street show, like the energy was so incredible. Everyone was so engaged and so forgiving if there was any mistakes or any bumps or anything, which there wasn't a lot of. People just embraced that. No.
I was going to say, stay humble, queen.
We did good for the start, like for our first show as a band, like our chemistry carried us and the chemistry of the crowd just like propelled us. And since then, every show, people are just incredible and attentive and
It's wonderful.
excited. It's crazy.
What's
It's
awesome is
wonderful.
everybody's just as excited as we are. I think
Yeah.
what I
Mhm.
think we have is that we are so excited to play every time. This is a space that we created to be able to play, and each and every one of us are excited to commune with the music and each other on stage. I mean, when we're playing, we do a lot of improvising on stage, I would say, and
So
I think
much.
that's part of the fun and part of the draw. And we just have so many friends supporting us that whenever I think one of our last shows that we were at, it was just all of our friends in the audience watching us, goof off on stage. And it was just a really good time.
It was
And so it
wonderful.
can be strange, but it's helped me grow a lot, and it's helped me meet a lot of beautiful people that I never would have met. So.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And
Yeah.
it reminds me that people, even if you do mess up, people don't really care. And
No.
they just like love who we are because they're friends. And people are just really, really supportive, which is something that's really refreshing because the music, like music school is a little unforgiving maybe. It's just really hard. So having such a supportive fan base is really a breath of fresh air, I think.
I feel like part of also, just one last note, part of the draw too is just in all of that, I feel like we are kind of unique because we are so genuine, I think. We're just being ourselves up there, and I feel like that is part of what is so special.
We always said community. Like, Braless is for community. I think that's one of the first things that we really wanted to make known about us is that music is a community. You shouldn't feel left out of it. You shouldn't feel, burnt out on, passion and communication and love.
Yeah.
Because that's what music is. You're trying to reach some sort of goal. You're trying to obtain some sort of skill. But at the end of the day, it is for sharing life.
Yeah.
And so that's what we want to do when we're bringing a show. And I think people see that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they do. I'm glad that message got across. It's kind of crazy that people want to come to our shows and listen to us. Like,
Yeah.
really?
I mean, they always do say that music is a universal language, and it's
Yeah.
true. So
Amen. Sorry to get a little deep there.
no, I love that. That was beautiful. I'm a re-listen to that after this recording comes out a million times.
Sit on it, meditate on it.
Yeah, literally.
And so you guys released a cover of Midnight in Harlem in December. What made you guys choose that as your first recording to release?
Ooh. Well, it started because Sarah and I were going up to Asheville. I think we were driving, and Will made us that road trip playlist. That was our first time
Yes,
hearing
yes,
Midnight in
yes.
Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
Will just like sent us a playlist and was like, "Hey, I think you're gonna like this stuff."
Where'd you find that song, Will?
That song specifically?
Yeah.
There's a video. The guy who plays in the Tedeschi Trucks band, Derek
Shout out.
Trucks,
Mhm.
shout
Sure,
out.
sure.
Shout out.
Did you say his name is Derek
lovely-
Trucks?
Derek Trucks.
Dude,
He's
that's
What
an
a good
awesome
name.
last
Yeah.
name.
I would
Glenn
kill.
Allman's nephew. There's a video of him playing live at some concert, and he's sitting next to B.B. King and John Mayer.
Oh my
And
God.
he plays this slide guitar solo, and it's gorgeous and it's amazing. And he's
Is it a Swamp Raga?
No, it's just
No?
like a different song.
Okay,
it
okay.
sounds like
Oh,
it, though.
okay.
But at the end, he finishes, and BB King is like, "That's the best I've ever heard it." And like, BB King says that to you.
BB King
you
is
have
the
something
one.
special, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
after that point, it was just like, oh well, I wonder this Derek Trucks guy, Tedeschi Trucks, and I just found the song through whatever.
And then I
But-
think we all fell in love with it.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, there's this beautiful 5-minute long intro that's just him absolutely crushing some sort of
Shredding. Oh, yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
And I think the free form of that song, because we love to mix it up and not know what we're doing. We love the
Yeah.
ability to have a
Yeah.
free form
For
structure.
sure.
And there's just a beautiful sound to that song that I have not heard in a long time. Like when I heard that, it struck a different chord in my
Yeah.
soul.
So there is a version of that song that Tedeschi Trucks does, and it's called the Swamp Raga version. And in
Fire.
Hindustani classical music, there's like a song is the equivalent to a rag. And so I am taking this class, and we're learning about Hindustani classical music. And we're listening to this rag. It's called Rag Bihag. And I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds exactly like that song, the intro to that song. And then I realized it's a swamp raga, so it's based on that drone note underneath, which I think is a D. It's droning
Don't ask me.
underneath.
Don't look
then-
at me.
I don't know. And then the bandish, which is like the melody line that's expanded upon in improvisation, is so similar to that. So I looked up Tedeschi Trucks, and he actually studied at a school, I think it was in San Francisco, and it's a Hindustani classical school. And I was like, I totally hear that in
Oh,
his
wow.
playing.
It just shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful mix, yeah.
I think the person who made that school is Ravi Shankar, who played
Oh no
Wow.
way!
Yeah.
who plays the Rag Bihag in a really cool way. So
Yeah.
Did not
cool
know it had this
connections that I
lore.
made.
I love
That's
that.
crazy.
Sometimes
Yeah.
cool is awesome.
Yes.
Honestly, just also, I feel like that's kind of a testament. Not that we went specifically for the rag and stuff, but like, just a testament to all the different like styles of music that we like, and
Yeah.
like how
Mhm.
that all kind of came together to. We made our own raga in the beginning. It's
Yeah.
it's different, but and it's very much influenced by it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when we play it live, I feel like too, what is our runtime? Like we play an
Like
11-minute
12 minutes.
version
Yeah.
of this
12
live
minutes.
because we
Little
start
bit
with
of
what do you
jam
call it when
band.
the saxophone is playing by itself in the
Oh,
beginning?
a cadenza.
A cadenza, yes. Dee was
I
like, I
love-
need my cadenza
yeah,
moment.
I have never gotten a cadenza so far in jazz band, and I was like, because all the baddies in jazz band, saxophone baddies, have gotten their own cadenzas, and I was like, you guys,
It's my
this
turn.
is my
Yep.
turn
Yeah.
in Braless saxophone cadenza right now. And they said yes, and it was awesome. It was our first show back, because we took last semester, we kind of took like a little break to regroup and refine our sound, because we were doing so many gigs that we kind of stopped focusing on just like individual development, group development of sound. And it was our first show back, and the first thing we started with was like a 5-minute saxophone cadenza. It was the
Mm.
first thing we put out into the world.
We like the
again.
drama.
We do.
Yeah.
We love
Yes.
drama. We love.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just in the music though.
That is so awesome. And so, like, what was the recording process like for that song?
It was fun.
It was a
Yeah.
lot of
Right?
fun. That was our first time ever doing anything live in this, like in the studio, because we're so used to live music, so that was definitely a different feel. But we had a friend reach out to us who is also in the music school who was doing this recording class,
We
and
should
she was
plug
like,
their Instagram too.
yeah. Because I was gonna say her name is Alora. I don't know.
At
Alora Coffee.
Alora Coffee.
Mm-hmm.
ALORA_COFFEY.
Yes, that is their
They are an
Instagram.
angel.
Big shout
Yes,
out.
Amazing.
absolutely. And
Amazing.
they helped us mix and master this. And so we basically had a bunch of room mics in this like kind of classroom. It had a
It
couple
was,
of
yeah.
like, these little the cubes that y'all got in here.
Sound block.
They're over
Sound,
there.
yeah.
They're over there too. Yeah, and so we had some of those. So I was like, "Wow, this is real official." And they pulled out this big soundboard, and then we did one version where all of us were playing live together, And then I was mouthing the words to everybody so we could stay on track. And then we got to record over it too. So I got to do the whole thing where I go behind the booth and I have the headphone on one ear and I'm trying to figure out where I'm supposed to sing on the track because I forget. Exactly. Oh, nice. Hey, maybe you should do some Braless vocals. Come on. But it was great. It was a lot of fun. It was very different than playing live.
Yeah, because I think we kind of identify. Okay, well, we're like genre-less. That's what we always kind of come to a conclusion because everyone is like, what genre do y'all play? And the answer is like 40 million ones. So, but I think part of our influence is definitely jam band because we love a good 40-minute solo. I specifically, push that a lot. I do that. I will be like, for literally forever. We eat it up. But yeah, so what was my point in that?
Live music.
Oh, yeah.
We've honed our skills.
Our specialty is more live music as opposed to
there you go.
Definitely.
I forgot that's where we started.
Yeah.
So we definitely are like, we were curious how we were going to sound in a recording space where you only have a certain amount of time before the song gets too drawn out in a like studio. I think that's what we found. So
Different energy in a studio than it is when you're in front of an audience hyping you up,
Yeah, but we did good, I think. So
I think we did pretty good. I would say we did pretty decently. Yeah. It was crazy to hear us come back out at it. Like you can click on the Spotify thing, but it's us instead of them. Like,
it's so crazy.
What?
Yeah. Freaky.
Yeah.
We're a little starstruck, I think, still,
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break to listen to the Braless cover of Midnight in Harlem. Enjoy.
to the city. I was running from the pain, and my heart was bleeding. hurt my bones to lay. Stayed in the city, no exception to the rules, to the rules. He was born to love me. I was raised to be his fool, his fool. Walk that line, torn apart. Gotta spend your whole life trying. Ride that train and free your heart. It's midnight up in Harlem. I went down to the river and I took a look around. There were old men's shoes, there were needles on the ground. No more mysteries, baby. No more secrets, no more clues, no more clues. The stars are out there, you can almost see the moon. The streets are windy and the subway's closing down. Gonna carry this dream to the other side of town. Walk that line, torn apart. Spend your whole life trying. Ride that train and free your heart. It's midnight up in
And so you have also recently written an original. Can you guys tell me a little bit about that as well?
Oh,
I
we
wish
had
Samuel was
here.
here
Samuel.
because he is the genius, the mastermind, the artist behind this.
Mm-hmm.
He pitched it to us in one of our rehearsals maybe a month or two ago. I guess he just writes on his own time. And when we heard it, I was like, oh my gosh, can y'all imagine playing this live? You know, there was just so much about it that was I don't know.
Just Braless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's called Undress Me. It was named by his mother.
Who came to
Said-
rehearsal and who
said
was
it on
awesome.
rehearsal, yeah.
Shout out to Samuel's mother.
Yeah, and I think we've been meaning to put some originals out for a little while, but we just were, I think, waiting for the time where we really knew each other's sound and we knew what our like group vibe was. And now that we have that, like we all have decided to start bringing individual songs we've written and like bring it to rehearsal and then just all jam on it, and it creates this like beautiful sound, and all of them are so different and we can go on so many different genres. But with Undress Me, like Samuel brought that and immediately everyone was like, I know my part, I know my part, I know my part. Like every single person was like, I have it, because everyone knows what Samuel sounds like and everyone knows what Braless sounds like. So it's so easy to like put our sound on ideas, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I feel like a lot of us also, like, obviously it's part of writing music that you have this thing and then everybody kind of puts their pieces in place, but it all came together remarkably well
Yeah.
and relatively quick too. Like you said, we kind of just understood our parts, and each part has our own little flair in there.
Yeah.
We'd been waiting a little bit to start doing original things too, I feel like, because we had been doing so many gigs. All we could do was prepare the covers
Yeah.
ready to play. And so we didn't have time to get to know each other. So that's why we took that break last semester to
Mhm.
really be like, listen, what are we doing? You know, like it's time to figure out who we are as a band and not just what the crowd wants. What do we want as a
Yeah.
band? How do we want to sound? What do we want to talk about?
Like
And
how
I,
serious are we too? That was a question that has been floating around since the dawn of Braless times.
yes, exactly.
Everyone just we just started the band and everyone had different views for how far we could go. Some people were just joining just to jam for a little bit and just
Jam
whatever.
band.
And then there's like me, who I'm like, my goal since I was like 2 is like to be in a band and like spread love and peace to as many people as possible, like tour the world. Like that's my vision. So I was just like chilling until other people.
That's
kinda
the
felt
vision.
that
That's the
way.
Braless vision.
Yeah.
Spread
Yeah, we
peace and
all
love to
feel
all
that
the
way.
world.
Yeah, and now I feel like everyone is kind of there, but it just took time to settle in, I think.
And so do you plan on recording Undress Me at any point?
Yes.
Most
Hopefully.
definitely.
Yes, we're working on it right now, I would say. Because getting into the studio is tough, I feel like, while we're trying to plan a bunch of stuff. And being students, once again, when do you have time to do anything? Maybe we can do it while we're sleeping. Maybe we can do it in our dreams. I'll meet you guys on the astral plane.
So
We
you know
can
what
do
I'm
a little
talking about.
recording. But yes, we do plan to record it.
Definitely.
That's the long answer to yes.
And so far, Samuel is the only one who's really like written something himself, and then you guys kind of plan on all joining in on that. Or
Here's the
I'll
thing.
take this one.
Announcement.
Yeah, so we actually have a second original called Secondhand. This is a song that I wrote over the summer, and it's a song that I wrote and recorded like as a solo artist, and it just like didn't go how I wanted it to. The sound was not as full as I'd liked it to be, so I kind of just put it on the side, and then I played it for these guys probably about like 2 rehearsals ago, really recently. And just the sound that we kind of just like listened and thought about what everyone could do. And the sound was just so full and awesome. And seeing that song that's really like sentimental to me and the lyrics are really important come to fruition in a band with all the people I love was just a really special moment. So we are working on that song, and I think we're gonna debut it on the 28th, perhaps. Yes?
Yeah, we got to get coming up on the
Hopefully.
28th.
At the
Yes.
pitch.
At the
in
Pitch.
Chapel Hill. If
Ooh.
y'all-
Frog
Ooh.
Fest,
Yeah.
y'all.
For the
Frog
leap year.
It's an indie
Fest.
night. A lot of
Mhm.
indie bands, a lot of jams, good vibes.
Mhm.
So these.
And-
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
finish.
no, you do it.
Oh, well, I was just gonna say. So these 2 originals. Are we thinking about anything else, guys?
what are we
Are we
thinking
maybe?
about?
Are we maybe thinking about what if we released maybe like an EP or something?
Yes, we are thinking
Oh.
about that.
In the works.
That
In the
idea.
works.
We have an
Mhm.
EP in the works. I don't know how much we're sticking to this, but I texted the group chat over break, and I was like, what if we all wrote individual songs on our own time with our own sound in mind and brought them to rehearsal individually, and then we all could have our own individual creative vision and be able to direct like one song each and then put it on an EP. Because I felt like it was hard sometimes to just be like, all right, let's write in rehearsal because we all have so many visions. And I was like, we could definitely do a lot with the fact that that is true. And so I think this EP is kind of geared around our individual visions, but also how it sounds when we play it as a whole.
Parts of a whole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hey, maybe that's a good name.
Hey, parts of a whole.
Write that down.
Wait, yeah, write that
now.
down, write
Pen
that down.
click,
Write
it's
that
going
down.
Yeah, so
Inspiration.
everyone kind of writes a little bit on their own time. It's definitely easier when you bring something that's pretty solidified to practice.
Mm-hmm.
Just because like 6 people in a room playing their instruments can be a little chaotic.
Yeah.
Nothing can get done. Let's just say we all have a hard time focusing.
Yeah.
Right.
There have been a lot of ideas thrown out, some weird 11/8 bass lines.
Don't get me started with that.
Uh,
Yeah, we tried to write one time, and we probably spent over a week figuring out just the time signature that we were even talking about.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Mhm.
I cannot not.
Let's see if we
at
can
all.
figure it out right here in the
But
studio.
yeah, a lot of I feel like a lot of ideas are constantly being bounced around,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the ones so far, the ones with like intention have stuck. A lot of
Yes.
times, I feel like,
True.
but having more gigs, feeling more serious about it, like putting something out on Spotify, recording, it's all pointing us in a direction, and I feel
Totally.
like that momentum is only building.
Agreed.
And so, kind of going back to how you guys create a lot of different sounds as a band, how do you choose like what covers to play? Like I saw you guys play at Ruby Deluxe.
Oh,
and-
hey,
sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
We love
And,
Ruby.
You guys started playing Lord, and I thought it was like really funny because I didn't see it coming.
I love
It
that.
was really good.
thanks.
But it was like the other songs had like much more of like a jazzy sound to them, and so I really liked that like you had like a wide variety of like what you play, and so like how do you choose those songs, or like is there any that you always come back to?
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah, so it's kind of a chaotic process, but honestly, I'm just gonna say we just play songs we think are good.
Yeah.
If we can all agree in the span of 5 minutes that we like a song enough to continue to work on it, then we're just like we're gonna make this into a Braless cover, even if it's like we're planning on playing what's it called, Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh,
Yeah. Don't spoil the surprise.
No,
Come
I know.
on.
Y'all didn't hear that here. That's all I'm saying.
that was a rumor.
But that is a song that has a known sound and a known popularity. But I think our intent is to recognize how good it is actually and how good Olivia Rodrigo is as an artist and kind of add the Braless sound onto that cover. So when we cover, we're not trying to exactly copy what that song is. We're just kind of using the outline that the artist provides, which is really brilliant a lot of the time, and just kind of make our own sound onto that cover.
I
Didn't really answer your question, but
Well,
you know.
There's
Hey, I
also
liked those thoughts.
certainly well, obviously if we don't like a song, like we're not gonna play it. We have songs that are barred from playing.
That we
yes.
played
We
too
have a
many
band
times, I
list.
would say.
Yeah.
There are a
Yes.
couple songs that we've just played a lot, but I think whenever we're choosing a set list, we do what we want, but we also there is a good amount of intention devoted towards who are we playing for. If it's indie night, should we play something? If we're in a fraternity, should we play Mr. Brightside? Like there's very much
There is a definitely
intention.
the process, and we also do think a lot about too like where the song's placement is in the set, because like every set has certain energy that builds, and we like to focus a lot of our energy on the order of songs because it's really important. And like I'm glad that Rib surprised you and it kept you engaged. I feel like that was maybe not the point. We didn't know it'd be surprising, or at least I didn't, because we play it all the time. But it's like I really like that it kept you engaged. Like that's a really special thing, and I'm glad that happened for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm so
That
excited
is
to hear
the
that.
point.
Honestly, like wow, I'll be thinking about that one.
And so switching gears to kind of like more about your performances, do you guys have a particular pre-show routine or anything?
Usually me freaking out. I would say that's the first step of it, because I feel like I'm the guy who's like, everybody needs to be there exactly when everyone says,
This
here's
is
the
true.
parking information, here's everything you need to know. If you're not there, ...
Do you have your stuff? Do you
Yes,
have your
yeah,
stuff
I'm
together?
I'm like the dad with the keys, like ready to rock and roll,
Yeah.
you know?
Doing head counts.
I feel like there's a lot of me being like, oh yeah, y'all, like it's about peace and love. Like everyone remember like why we do this. Like we love each other. We love the crowd. Like
This is
we're all about
calming me
spreading
down.
peace. Like
yeah.
that's what I do. Typically for me, it involves listening to Janis Joplin, specifically anything from her Live at Woodstock album. Very inspiring. Specifically, Summertime. Love that song. Or Ball and Chain. So inspiring. And I think as a band, we usually just huddle a little bit.
There's
talk
a circle
little
always
bit.
going on.
There's
Yeah.
usually we just like just talking to each other. Like I feel like we are each other's support system, especially before we play.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like it really helps. Like for me, I think something I always like to do for a pre-show routine is just like pack an extra change of pants in case I get too nervous,
Right.
you know. And
Very
the huddles really help with that, you know. It gives me some privacy while I do a quick change, you know.
And I think we also, connecting before is important because we are creating on stage and we're creating with each other and we're counting on each other to be able to be connected. So
In a
I
good
think
place.
that all of our, though we don't have any specific rituals, I would say that it's important for me to look every single person in the eye before we start. And I'm
Yeah.
like, are you ready for this or what?
Mhm.
You know?
Or not.
I
Or
usually also hit everyone with, you have to have good stage presence. I feel like every single, especially recently, I've been like, stage presence, think of it as your job, people. Like every single time, I'm
Yes.
like, it's not
Director
an
first, performers
option.
first.
It's
Yes.
part of your job as a rock star,
Yes.
whatever. Like it's not a choice. It's not something you can be comfortable or uncomfortable. You got to do it.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel like the only time where I really am like, I put my foot down or something, because usually I'm like, la 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 la, whatever. But with that, I'm like, stage presence is important. It makes
Because you're a
people feel
performer. This is your
comfortable.
career.
Yeah.
you
Exactly.
know?
Like it's part of the job, and being uncomfortable is uncomfortable, but you have to learn how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable to
Amen.
succeed,
Right.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But we love it. So
Mhm.
And
I
it's
mean,
it's really great, I feel like, for me, because one of the things I think I do without fail every time, you know, we set up on stage, we get ready to start. I'm going to look over to my left or my right, and I'm going to look Will in the eyes. And with real, true fear, I'm going to say, how does this one start? Okay? And, you know, he's always there for me. Everyone's always there for me. So it's
There's
great.
so many stress streams about not knowing the song and how
Yes.
to play it.
Bro, yeah, everybody looks at me. What's next? What's next? What's next?
Oh my God.
Oh, you have the set list right there,
Yeah.
man. You trust your eyes. Trust
Oh my
them.
goodness.
Yeah.
Trust your eyes.
So.
And so is there a favorite or like I guess funniest like venue that you guys have performed at so far?
I feel like Gizmos is a favorite.
We love
Yeah.
Gizmo.
Energy was
Mhm.
there. It was the environmental frat had a formal there, and they asked
Yeah.
us to come back.
Mm-hmm. We played there a couple times.
Yeah. I guess I've played there once.
That's right.
And I remember that was like I think my first major gig
Mhm.
with Braless, because the first one we had before that was at the frat where no one really cared at all.
Yeah.
We were
And
background
We
music.
were,
We
and that
were.
was that was a great way to get my little tootsies wet. I would say.
Yeah.
In the scene, dip them in the pool there.
Right.
But then the Gizmos gig really got things started, and the energy in there was just magic.
I would say from when you performed at the frat, that was sort of background music. I wasn't able to play, and so
Mhm.
Malone, a friend of the band, came and filled in very kindly. Super
We
nice.
love Will Malone.
Shout out
Will
to
Jugs.
Jugs.
Malone,
Oh yeah, shout out Jugs.
Literally.
And just from an outside perspective, just seeing y'all standing on a pallet in the middle of the courtyard with like people kind of looking like, are they supposed to be there? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, wait, like what's y'all's like main street here in NC State? Like, you know, like
Hillsborough?
what's
Hillsborough.
Hillsborough? Like imagine like just off to the side of Hillsborough Street, we're on a wood pallet and like screaming like I don't even know,
do
Steve
we
Miller
play?
Band or
Yeah.
something.
Tonight,
Like,
Careless
music
Whisper.
feels so
Oh
loud.
my goodness, Careless Whisper. That song will
Yep.
put me as a
Mhm.
saxophone player. If there's any saxophone players out there, you hear my struggle and I know you relate. I can't play Careless Whisper ever
That's a
again
bard
in my
song.
life. That song haunts my dreams, haunts my nightmares, haunts my day. When I'm walking, I hear it in my footsteps. No, Sarah. No, don't start. But also for Gizmos, the environmental frat one that we did, that night, for some reason, I had an extra pep in my step, and we were trying to end the set on What's Up as an encore. And sometimes it happens where the band tries to stop, and then I start playing really intensely because I'm not done yet. And I'm like,
He's
"You
like, "We're
guys,
not done."
I'm not done." So I started just doing like whatever I was doing, high notes, things like that. And Braless, like all of Braless, got and lied down on the floor around me and started hailing me on the stage. And
very
everyone in the
fun.
audience
That should
like,
happen
got
every
down
time.
too. And I just was like wailing. My throat was caving in. My lungs were hurting. Like, my vocal cords started rubbing together. Everything. My nose was weird. When you play too much loud saxophone, things start going crazy. But all I knew is that was the last moment of my life. And I had to persevere.
And I had laid down to honor your life.
There's a
there.
picture of Sarah on the ground. You can find it at BBRALESS on Instagram. Go
If you
look.
want to.
yeah.
If you want
If you
to.
Yes.
feel so inclined, it's a beautiful Instagram page. We put a lot of work into it sometimes.
That Gizmo gig, gig in particular too, it was so special because afterwards, all of us were kind of talking, and the consensus was like, there was just this sense of clarity.
Yeah.
Like as soon as we started, I feel like I
cry.
haven't. It was a very powerful feeling. It was super
wonderful.
cool.
That's what's been happening a lot recently too. I feel like after our break, when we came back onto the scene, like after every show, I've heard every single person individually be like, "This is the best one that we've done yet."
Mhm.
You know, no matter what the crowd was like, no matter what happened, like we have been really starting to find our sound and our feel.
Yeah.
And so as soon there is a moment, like I'm so stressed, I get to look everybody in the eyes. And then I'm like, all right, we're starting. And then suddenly it all just melts away because I know everybody is in and on and we know what we're doing.
Yeah, and we're like that clarity, I think, was the first time where everyone was like, we can do this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like,
Maybe we can.
Maybe we can do this, like, forever or whatever. Like,
For reals.
everyone just, in that moment after Gizmos, like, I remember Samuel came up to me, and he was just like, you know, before these gigs, I'm always like, hey, man, you know, whatever, like, the way that Samuel talks. And then he just was like... And then after gigs, every time, I'm like, maybe I can do this for my future. Like, being a musician is so hard, but then after the gigs, every time I walk away being like, wow, that was the best moment of my life. I want to do this.
I love this.
And that stayed, I think, after Gizmos. That time it didn't go away.
Yeah.
It was lit.
Remember, I had someone tell us who had been coming to our shows like for a while, and he was like, "I've seen y'all play a lot, but this was the first show, the Gizmo show, that y'all sounded like professional. Y'all sound like a freaking band." And I was like, yeah, that is what it felt like. And I think we're all of kind of a friend group, and I think that's why it kind of
We are.
it all melts away once you get on stage. I think that is a very true.
Because you can trust your friends. Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, we're not just coworkers anymore.
No, yeah.
It's for real.
Yeah.
And so can you tell the listeners, I think you already said this, but repeat the information regarding your upcoming shows?
Absolutely, yeah. So we've got a couple things going on. The most next upcoming thing is on the 28th at the Pitch. It's Frog Fest for Leap Year, also an indie night. So come dressed as a frog, obviously. But we're going to be playing there with a couple of other awesome, amazing, insane bands on the bill. It's going to be a great night of awesome music. So y'all should definitely come out to see us there.
The Pitch in Chapel Hill.
The Pitch in
Yes,
Chapel Hill.
Franklin
The
Street.
Pitch in Chapel Hill is gonna. I think they're starting up indie nights like every month, once a month. So
We'll be
if
playing
you
there next
can't
month
make
too.
it here. I mean, this time we will be there next month and hopefully forever.
You know
and
what
ever.
day?
Of next month?
Yeah,
Is that the 22nd?
It's 27th of March.
the 27th of
Oh,
March.
nice.
Yes.
2/7.
Right, we knew that.
There we go. So the 27th of March or February 28th are where you can see us at the Pitch on Indie Night. And if you want, maybe at your own leisure, to see information about that, once again, we do have an Instagram, and it is at BBRALESS, Braless.
Yes.
And then how can people find you on Spotify? Is it just Braless?
Yes.
Okay.
We're on Spotify. We're also on iHeartRadio, question mark.
Yeah.
Let's go.
And
But
Apple
that's a
Music
different
as well.
name, I
Oh, is
would
it a
say.
different name?
On iHeartRadio, it's Braless the band somehow.
Interesting.
Not
But
quite sure.
everywhere else, it's just Braless.
Braless.
Braless. Spelling B.
Yes.
But yeah,
It's
and we're on
hard
Apple
there.
Music, we're on Spotify, and I guess iHeartRadio as Braless the band.
And YouTube music.
And
as
YouTube
well,
music.
For all you
All of
girlies
those.
out there.
Anywhere you
Shout
can
out
stream
Lily and
music,
Britt.
we are there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Thank you again to Braless for being super lovely and awesome and coming into the station today and letting me interview them. I will send the listeners off with a rehearsal recording of the Braless original Undress Me. Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of The Stripdown with DJ Ocean Spray, and you're listening to WKNC 88.1. Enjoy.
I hear footsteps